Abbie, I want to thank you for the time that you're going to take to talk about your experience working with Ashley Nanney and her team. And I don't know anything about your history except that you have one with her.
Yes.
So could you talk about, first of all, what brought you to Ashley?
So I started working at a company called Shape Reclaimed in 2018. And at that point, Ashley had been kind of involved with Shape for several years. And then because I was coming in with copywriting and some marketing background and some graphic design background and a bunch of things, we started working really closely together and with Natalie, because we started building, marketing materials for our practitioners. And so now she's like my go-to person, because she's been doing this for so long. It's one thing to go to just a regular marketing company, regular marketing firm, and I'm sure you'll get good service, and I'm sure they'll make you a beautiful website and all of that stuff. But to go to a marketing company who knows your market inside and out, totally different ballgame.
Yeah.
It absolutely changes everything, because marketing is different depending on who you're marketing to. Yes. And the way you want to communicate with them and the kinds of website you want to put together. It just matters. Like, to have somebody who understands your niche really well makes such a big difference. And so she understood our niche really, really well. And we were lacking in an area of helping our practitioners know how to market themselves. And that's her jam. That's the thing. That's her specialty that she's very, very good at. And so we now have a way to teach that to our practitioners. Our practitioners now have more success, which then reflects really well on us and improves our success. So it's just been huge learning experience, gigantic. And, but so exciting. And I really feel like we're making a difference. But as far as with Ashley, we're the ones, and with Natalie, the three of us are really the ones doing all of the marketing for the company that's never done marketing before.
Wow. Now, copy is such an important thing. And this is a discussion that Ashley and I have had, where a lot of people who do help design websites, they will take the content that their client provides, and they'll make it look pretty on their website. And maybe they'll be really good with SEO and they'll understand all of that. But the actual copy, the words, I think it's really easy for those of us who don't have the experience that you do to forget not only how important it is, but how life-saving it is for your website. Yeah. Because without those words, you can have a really pretty website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An ugly website with the right words is better than a pretty website with the wrong words.
Okay, there are going to be people who push back with that. So explain why that is true. I don't doubt it, but I want to take their position.
I push back with that because if you don't make it pretty, don't bother.
Yeah.
I mean, just don't bother. But it's because pretty is going to create a feeling, but words are going to create action. Having a pretty logo doesn't tell anybody what to do. It's just nice to look at.
Yes.
It's not going to cause them to move forward. It's not going to invite them into a story. It's not going to make them want to give you any money necessarily. Granted, I buy Apple products because they're beautiful. I will spend extra for an Apple product because I think they're pretty. But they also function and their messaging is on point. Right. But words invite people into a story. Words will tell somebody what to do next.
Yeah.
You want to be able to tell somebody, this is what we can do for you. This is how you're going to feel. And this is how to do it.
Yes.
You can't do that with just pretty.
And I think that the pretty and the words can be bridged together. Again, that isn't mutually exclusive either.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I respect so much about the fact that you guys, that there's a team, that Ashley is part of this team. I am not one to delegate. I am not one to relinquish. And as a small business owner, I am not alone. I think that's the sounding cry of so many small business owners. And then it becomes an actual cry because it's just like, there's too much. There's just too much. Yeah. So can you talk about that? How there is a role that is filled with a professional?
So ideas are endless. I could spend all day long on ideas. I have pages and pages of Word documents with ideas on them. And they're all fantastic ideas, and they're all worth doing, and they're all really expensive. I have $20 million worth of ideas, and I have to do them with $20. And Ashley is particularly good with saying, this is the project you want to work on because it's going to bring you the most return for the least amount of money. She helps us to prioritize, yes, all of these ideas are fantastic, but let's look at the ideas that actually are going to build your business. Because some ideas are just pretty. Some ideas are just fun. Some ideas are easy. But really, you want to put your time and your energy and your money into the thing that's going to bring you the biggest return. And that she does super well. And then she teaches us how to do it if we don't know how to do it, or she sends us to the right place to learn how to do what we need to do. And so if you've got, again, $20 million worth of ideas with $20 to spend, how are you supposed to know where to spend those dollars? Yeah. It would be impossible. It's impossible for me to know that. But because she's been doing this for so long, for so many people, for so many different people, in a very specific niche, she knows where to spend those dollars. But she's kind of come on as playing a much bigger role with Shape because she's so needed. She's just so needed. We didn't have anybody that did what she did. Okay. It's a company that's been around for 10 years that's never done any marketing, that didn't have a very clear website, that didn't have clear literature. It didn't have any of that stuff. And she was able to kind of narrow down where we needed to put our focus.
Okay. Can you pinpoint specific things that you've seen change as a result of the relationship established with Ashley and her help?
I feel so, I'm just going to speak about myself. I feel so much more empowered to make big decisions. I would like to have a larger leadership role. And I feel like the things that have changed, she's helped me to get out of the details, get out of the minutia. I feel like I've changed and transformed as a person, as an employee, as a potential leader in a huge way because of her guidance and counsel.
Wow.
And then as far as the business goes, the streamlining that has happened with her at the helm of this project is incredible. And our customers are starting to tell us, oh my gosh, this is so clear. New customers that had never seen our old website will come to our website and say, oh my gosh, I know exactly where to go. I know exactly what to find. I know exactly what you do. And I know exactly what to do next. This is great. We didn't have that kind of feedback before. This last year, obviously, everybody kind of took a hit. But instead of being paralyzed by the fact that the world was shutting down, Ashley she stood up right away and said, this is how we pivot. This is what we do. This is how we handle this situation. This is how we see it as an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And it forced all of us to be like, oh yeah, this doesn't have to be so bad. Nice. We all got to see this experience as an opportunity. So rather than having us all lose our minds, we got to be creative and think and continue to move forward and continue to grow and continue to support our customers and get new customers. Wow. I mean, we had more new practitioners come on board last year than any year before.
Point that you made about the message being clear. That is so important. And I talked to a lot of people after I've spoken to Ashley, and I realized that here's the thing. People who are good at what they do, we are not always good at relaying what we do because we forget what it was like to not know what we do. So we just talk to people like everyone knows what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And I see now that I've spent some time with her, even in my own website, I've looked at it. I'm like, if I try to look at it with kind of virgin eyes, if no one really knew, would I be able to say, just look here? And I think it's one of those things that people will resist because their marketing, especially if it's handmade, they do it themselves. It's kind of their baby. And we don't want to admit that it's not serving us the way it ought to.
And Ashley has a way of delivering that message to us in the most constructive way.
Nice.
So rather than saying, your website is garbage. You need a new one. And she'll speak to you real straight. She's not going to necessarily, avoid a tough topic. She's not going to avoid difficult conversation, but she does it in such a way that it's like, oh, I see where you're coming from. I see why you're saying that. She's explaining these very difficult things in a super simple way. We had a big project ahead of us. Like, we had a big job to do. And instead of Ashley just delivering, okay, these are all the things you need to do, and this is all the project, she's just like, let's just do this right now. And then we'd get that finished, and he'd say, okay, let's do this right now. And then we'd finish that, and then let's do this right now. And then as I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, this was your plan all along. But she didn't deliver that because it would have been too overwhelming for me.
Okay.
I would have been so scared of the monumental task. I wouldn't have been able to even start because it just looked too big. She'll have a whole vision. She'll have a whole idea of where she sees the business going, but she's just delivering in little incremental parts that we can accomplish, and it makes it feel doable.
That takes some self-control and restraint on her side. It's got to.
Gosh.
Right?
Right?
like feeding you little tiny things.
and she's ambitious, and she's pumped and excited about all the stuff, but she's not going to necessarily put you in front of a mountain and say, climb to the top right this very second. It's going to go to that point over there. Okay, now we're going to go to that point over there. She's just really good at guiding us through what seems to be an insurmountable task.
Okay. I would like to get your feedback. If somebody were to say to you, I can do it myself. I can learn all of this and do it myself. Because those of us who are entrepreneurs, it isn't always money that directs us to do that. Sometimes that's our nature, right? We want to be able to do it all. What would you say, having had the experience you now have with Ashley?
Yes, you can absolutely do it all yourself. It's going to take you 10 times longer. It's going to take you 10 times more money.
Yes.
And you're going to be a very difficult person to be around if you insist on doing that. Okay. You're going to turn into just a real tyrant. I have been a tyrant at times. Why do that to yourself when you don't have to? Also, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. So you might say, yes, I can do it myself. But then it's not just about learning a website. It's about learning copywriting. It's about learning SEO. It's about learning graphic design. It's about learning WordPress. I mean, it's a never-ending process. Once you get into something, you realize how much you don't know.
Yeah.
And so the projects end up being 10 times bigger than you thought they were going to be. You don't have to learn how to code a website. You don't have to learn that stuff. Like, people go to school for years to learn that stuff.
Right.
You don't have to do that. Just get somebody else to do that. It's going to save you tons of time, therefore tons of money.
Right.
To just have somebody else do it.
However, she does more than just marketing. And this I didn't realize until some of our conversations too. So, and I don't know, you can tell me whether or not it's something that you take advantage of, but this whole move the ball call and this, it's sort of,
oh my gosh,
like having a business partner to bounce ideas off of is tremendous. Do you use that with her as well?
Oh, absolutely. I probably use it too much. But yeah, she's kind of my business consultant of sorts.
Yes, that's what I meant. Yep.
Taking kind of a mentor role for me, because I do need somebody to bounce ideas. And I've been wrong. I've been wrong so many times. I'll think I have a really good idea, and she'll say, well, that's not going to work because of this, this, and this. And it's like, okay, I can't just run with all these crazy ideas because some of them are not going to be the best use of my time and energy. I can say, these are all of my ideas. Which one should I start with? It's super, super helpful. And that's the thing, is she's not just marketing. She's actually going to help you change your mindset. She's going to help you get your and really embody your mission statement, and really stick to I just read a book by Simon Sinek, The Infinite Game. Find your just cause and remember your just cause. She's definitely served more than just a marketing person for me, big time.
And that's a huge thing. I think people need to realize that it's not just getting your social media taken care of. It's not just building a pretty and effective website. It's going to reflect who you are. So I think it's just tremendous.
And building in such a way that it can continue to grow. It can grow beyond you.
Interesting.
It can continue to grow. It's about building a structure that's malleable, that is changeable, that's allows for things to evolve and to grow beyond what you think. But her focus is definitely achieving a goal bigger than yourself.
Wow. It takes a very generous spirit, I think, to be that kind of person, which she just always has been. Yeah. She's always been that kind of person.
Well, and that's the thing. She's got a whole team of people.
Yeah.
She's not even doing it all herself. Why do we expect to do it all ourselves?
That's a valid point. Yes.
She has somehow found these just real gems, like these real special individuals that all work together in this really powerful way. That you can kind of accomplish anything. She wants you to have more success than her. It has been just an absolute honor working with her. The amount that I've learned from her as a leader, as a friend, as a person, she's absolutely completely selfless. Completely. And it's just been one of the most fulfilling experiences of my whole life, working with her. It's just been absolutely incredible. And I hope that I get to work with her for years to come, if she'll have me, if she still wants to. But it's, and to be able to work with her so closely has just been an honor.